You are listening to Housekeepers Chat by the United States Department of Agriculture from 1927. Disclaimer: this is read from a historic archive document. Do not assume content reflects current scientific knowledge, policies, or practices. This broadcast was aired on the 14th of March of 1927.
Hints on selecting an Easter bonnet, a lunch menu, one new recipe, and one recipe not so new are incorporated in today's chat. Speaking of hats,
said Matilda, as she placed a coquettish spring model in the window. But nobody is speaking of hats, I objected mildly. We were talking about the weather.
That may be true,
said Matilda,
but everybody is thinking of hats. Don't you know Easter is the 20th of April? I was going to say when you interrupted me that a person with a turned-up nose should never wear a hat with turned-up trimming and a turned-up brim. It gives her a look of suspense. Reminds me of a question which is never answered, if you know what I mean. A person with a turned-up nose, or the type of a nose the poets call tip-tilted, should wear a hat which comes down slightly over her face. If she has a receding chin, or scarcely any chin, she must never wear a hat with heavy trimming in front. The heavy trimming in front emphasizes the weak chin. On the other hand, if most of the trimming is at the back, the chin seems more normal. If one has a large rose and a receding chin, these two features are made more prominent by a hat which has a wide brim in front and a narrow one in back. A hat with the same width of brim, both back and front, would make the features appear more regular. And the woman who wears glasses should wear a hat with a brim which shades the eyes. That is, a hat which comes out over the glasses rather than turning abruptly from the face.
Please continue, I said, taking out my pencil as quietly as possible. You are an authority on hats, Matilda. What else have you learned from selling hats?
I have learned,
said Matilda,
that a woman should try on a hat before a full-length mirror. If she sits down before a small glass to choose a hat, like as not she will be dissatisfied when she gets home and tries the hat before a full-length mirror. If she is tall, she may have selected a high-crowned hat, which makes her look even taller. My most satisfactory customer is a woman who decides, before she even looks at hats, whether she wants her hat to harmonize with her coat, her suit, or a dress. Then, when she comes in, she wears the garment that she expects to wear mostly with the hat she is buying. She is an older woman, with angular features. She never wears severe, tailored hats, but selects those with curved lines, draped effects, and soft colorings. She avoids severely tailored styles because they emphasize the angular lines in her face. As we women grow older, we lose some of the regularity of features and perfection of skin that we had in youth, and soft lines are more becoming to us than severe lines. I never rush a customer who is trying on hats because a hat is such an important article of a woman's wardrobe. The hat serves as a background for the head and face. A hat which is not becoming detracts from one's personal appearance and spoils the effect of whatever else is worn with it. Time and patience are often needed when one is searching for a hat which brings out the best points and conceals less attractive ones,
concluded Matilda, as she tacked a bright plaid silk lining in a sports model of black straw. Since it was dinner time, I invited Matilda to be my guest at the Cossack, a tea room which I patronize occasionally because the waitresses wear Russian smocks and high boots. I was sorry afterwards that I had asked Matilda to eat with me, for I never saw such a colorless meal. Visualize our dinner, if you can. Celery soup and crackers, creamed eggs on toast, creamed cauliflower, mashed potatoes, banana salad on anemic lettuce leaves, pale baking powder biscuits, and for dessert vanilla ice cream. Just imagine serving Matilda, who loves color, such a monotonous dinner as that. Of course, she said she didn't mind, but I did. Now, since a number of my friends in Iowa have been asking for different ways to serve onions, I have planned a lunch or supper menu with a main dish of scalloped onions and peanuts. Think that's a queer combination? Not if you like onions and peanuts. The whole menu is scalloped onions and peanuts, ginger pears, graham muffins, and cherry tarts. I'll give you the recipe for scalloped onions and peanuts from the United States Bureau of Home Economics. Pencils ready? 3 main ingredients as follows. 4 to 6 medium-sized onions, half to 3/4 cup peanuts, ground, 1 cup thin cream sauce made with 1 tablespoon flour, 1 tablespoon butter, and 1 cup milk. Check the ingredients. 4 to 6 medium-sized onions, 1/2 to 3/4 cup peanuts, ground, 1 cup thin cream sauce made with 1 tablespoon flour, 1 tablespoon butter, and 1 cup milk. Cook the skinned onions in boiling salted water until tender. Drain the onions and slice them with a sharp knife. Place the onions in layers in a greased baking dish. Cover each layer with the cream sauce and the peanuts. Continue until all the ingredients are used. Cover the top with buttered crumbs and bake in a moderate oven until golden brown. Serve from the baking dish. I hope you have some ginger pears, made last fall, for they would be very good with scalloped onions and peanuts. And graham muffins and butter are a welcome change from white bread and butter. For the graham muffins, you will need 7 ingredients as follows. The quantities will make 10 or 12 muffins, 1 cup milk, 1 and 1/2 cups coarse graham flour, or 1 3/4 cups more finely ground graham, 2 to 4 tablespoons fat, 1 egg, 2 teaspoons baking powder, 1 to 2 tablespoons sugar, ½ teaspoon salt. 7 ingredients, 1 cup milk, 1 and 1/2 cups coarse graham flour, or 1 3/4 cups more finely ground graham, 2 to 4 tablespoons fat, 1 egg, 2 teaspoons baking powder, 1 to 2 tablespoons sugar, 1/2 teaspoon salt. Do not sift the graham flour before measuring. Graham is the only kind of flour that is measured unsifted, though. Remember that with all the recipes I give you. Mix all the dry ingredients thoroughly. Seat the egg slightly, add it to the milk. Stir the combined milk and egg into the dry ingredients. Add the melted butter or other fat last. Bake the muffins in a hot oven, about 400 degrees to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. When you make cherry tarts, the first step is to bake your pastry shells on the outside of muffin pans until delicately browned. Strain the juice off canned cherries. If they are not sweetened, mix the needed quantity of sugar for 6 good-sized tarts with about 1/2 tablespoon of cornstarch, and cook this with the cherry juice until it is thickened. Add 1 tablespoon of butter and a few grains of salt, stir in the fruit, and put this filling in the pastry shells. Serve at once, or to give an extra touch, add a spoonful of whipped cream or cover with a meringue. The meringue is made of a stiffly beaten white of egg, 1 tablespoon of sugar, a few grains of salt, and a drop or 2 of vanilla. To brown the meringue, return the tarts to a very slow oven for 15 to 20 minutes. The menu again: scalloped onions and peanuts, ginger pears, graham muffins, cherry tarts, and coffee.
This broadcast was researched and produced by Breakaway Empire LLC.